Another week of Polk Nation. Here we go again. Lots of fun things happening with softball and that. What's your kind of take on the week, Matt?
Well, before we really get into it, I think there's something even funner, more fun, however you want to say it, that we need to take a look at this real quick before we really get started.
All right, so I don't know if we really need to know all this, but there was an incident at the end of Polkcast, the final Polkcast. I had gone the whole year without falling. I was very proud of that. And then while trying to save another, as the good humanitarian I am, I crashed and burned.
I don't know if you should. I mean, in that scenario, you got to save yourself there. I mean,
Well, I didn't think I was in any danger, to be perfectly honest. We were trying to, we're trying to give MAF its love. We're talking about all the people behind the scenes, and then Aaron sits down, falls down, and then I think, I just.
Were you sore at all?
No, I was not.
You bounced back pretty good?
I heard somebody yell fumble when I went for the ball. But no, I was not hurt. I was laughing. I wave here at the end to make sure everybody knows I'm okay. There you go.
Look, there it is. There's the wave. There's the wave.
Aaron got up, so we were fine. I wanted to sit there for a while just to kind of take it
I think it's safe to say we need a bigger stage for a podcast.
I think the show
We
has
almost lost Coach V in his
did.
first segment.
Well, let's put it this way. The show has gotten big enough, and McNeese is now big enough to where we do need a bigger stage.
Yeah, that's right. So. That's right.
I don't really know if we have to get into that much more than that, but that's what happened, and that's my take on it. And
I'm just glad you're okay, Jim.
I'm fine. I couldn't. People were like, "Well, you're walking with a limp." I walked with a limp before, so it wasn't really a big deal.
Might have fixed it.
I wish it did, but that'll start that show. Polkcast is off for the summer.
Yep.
So we'll see you next year if they bring us back.
Stage.
If they bring us back, maybe they'll say the show has fallen off its ratings. I guess I don't know. All right, so man, a lot of things happening. Softball somehow, some way wins 3 games and finds a way to get in and host. That's big for you guys to host.
Oh, it's fantastic for us. Our community loves it. They come out in groves, and again, we love hosting championships in Lake Charles. I mean, do it with basketball, and anytime we can get a championship here, we love to see it. But man, we always say it. James Langino finds a way to do
something.
it at the end. I don't know what magic he's got up his sleeve, but he finds a way to do it.
They win 11 out of 12 to end. They have to sweep at Commerce, and they do.
And get some help on the road.
And the wildest part is Nichols has to sweep then to keep the 2 seed. They win the first 2 games easy on Friday. They lead the second game, or the last game, lose it in the bottom of the 6th, then load the bases in the 7th, because I had both TVs on, load the bases in the 7th with 1 out and don't score. Northwestern State gets out of it. McNeese wraps up the 2 seed.
That's the James Langino magic.
That is some magic right there.
Magic.
That is a strange ending to a wild season. We'll have Emily Phillips, a coach, and Maddie Weeks on, a player, to talk about it here in the second and third segments. But we do a good job here at McNeese. You guys do a very good job of hosting things. You guys have gotten really good at it. But every year, year.
Again, yes, I think we've definitely gotten very good at it, and we enjoy it, obviously.
Yeah. And people love coming here.
And it's turned into an expectation, which is great for us.
Yeah.
I mean, we expect to host championships. We expect to compete for them, especially in softball. So we're looking forward to a good weekend. But we got 3 really good teams in the tournament on our side. But we did get a good draw from a crowd standpoint. We got Nichols, Northwestern, and SFA. We're hoping we get some good crowds and have great softball all weekend.
Well, SFA always brings a good crowd.
Yep.
Nichols has had a terrific year for them, and
really
we're within 2 outs of actually being hosting, and Northwestern State right down the road. So it is a really good group, and all that group has beaten each other this year, so there is some excitement in this group. Yeah,
I mean, Nichols had the tiebreaker over us, so we desperately needed them to drop a game. So I think we're going to see great softball. I know that James is going to have his team ready. Again, we hope they're playing their best softball, and I think they are. They have an unbelievably tough schedule all year long. They got to conference play. They had a little lull. I don't want to make excuses for them, but I think you almost have a little bit of a letdown when you don't have to play those bigger schools.
We see in basketball too. The men's basketball team has it. When you go to some, and again, You play it at Texas Tech, you go to LSU, you play some of these big schools, and then all of a sudden you go to a smaller venue, and then it's hard sometimes to re-gear up.
That's right.
That's just human, especially for first-time players going into those places.
Absolutely. We see it, like you said, across the board. There is a little bit of a letdown, but again, I guarantee James has his message across loud and clear of what's at stake this weekend, and the girls will be ready to play.
Yeah, and they're really good at home.
They
play
are
really
very
good at home.
Yep.
McNeese opens up play on Thursday afternoon, 4 p.m. They always take the first game, so you get the extra rest.
Always. Yep.
If they win, they go to Friday night at 7 o'clock. The 7 o'clock game on Thursday, and the winner will play. It's double elimination. I love the way this conference has set this up.
Me too.
As a coach, would you have liked to play this way?
Absolutely. It follows the super regional format whenever you advance to the NCAA. So I think the way they do that is phenomenal. And yes, James does always elect to play the 4 o'clock. We're at that time of year where weather starts to be a problem. If you catch a 5 o'clock rain shower, it'll push that 7 o'clock game until 8, 9 o'clock at night, and then have to turn around if you lose and play early the next day. So he elects to take that early game, which is very smart, and will put his team in position.
He learned that a couple of years ago when he played up at Northwestern when he was playing at midnight against Notre Dame and that. So he learned. But the one thing about them is playing at home. They have found ways to win these tournaments and win big games that is really, really interesting in how he plays it. And I think he is a very good tournament coach.
Very good tournament coach. And look, I've known James for a really long time. I actually played for James back in high school in summer ball, and then coached for him. I've learned a lot of James's tricks. What's really cool to see is he finds ways to win those small game or those big games with the small details, whether it's a squeeze or a first and third offensive play. But he also got beat on it last year with Southeastern, and then the same thing this year. Southeastern swept us at home, and they were giving him a little bit of his own medicine. So the league's gotten better, but I guarantee you James up for the challenge. Yeah,
one thing is he will have him ready to play.
Yep.
When we come back, Emily Phillips will join us, Maddie Weeks will join us, and we'll talk McNeese softball a little bit more after this on Polk Nation.
Well, it's game day at the Legacy Center, and the McNeese Cowboys are warmed up and ready to play. Cowboys have a new player this year, number 22, Katie Ferdinand. This girl loves basketball and McNeese so much she can't wait to get out on the floor. And we're off. Shoemate tips the brewer, and there goes Katie.
Ferdinand Financial Group supports the McNeese Cowboys. The Cowboys are going to do some really big things. Really big.
McNeese athletes bring big energy, big plays, and big spirit to every game. That's why Lakeside is proud to be such a huge fan. We're a hometown team too, in the business of backing big dreams across our community every day. And we always bank on big wins with McNeese Sports. Go big with Lakeside and McNeese.
Join Don's Wash Club and score big on clean rides all season. Unlock discounts on washes, interior cleanings, oil changes, and more. Whether you're tailgating or heading home after the game, keep your ride looking like a pro. Not ready to commit? No worries. Scan the QR code on screen to see what we're all about. Enjoy your ride with Don's on McNeese, Ryan, and Nelson.
Welcome to Pro Pools, your one-stop shop for everything pool care. Top quality chemicals to keep your water clean, clear, and balanced. Plus in-store savings and rebates to keep more money in your pocket. Upgrade your cleaning with industry-leading equipment and turn your backyard into the perfect escape. From simple setups to luxury designs, we've got you covered. Visit Pro Pools today on Romero Street in Lake Charles, or call now and dive into better pool care.
We're back for Polk Nation, and after a remarkable weekend of strange things happening in the last half hour of the softball season, McNeese is actually hosting the first round of the semifinals as the number 2 seed. Did you guys go into the weekend expecting to host, or what were your thoughts going in?
I think our thoughts were really just focusing on ourselves and focusing on playing successful softball. We weren't we knew it was a possibility, but we knew if we did our job, it might fall in. It really, at the end of the day, is not under our control. It's great that we're hosting for our community, but we didn't go in expecting that.
Maddie, for you, this is your first year here.
Yes, sir.
The expectations were to get in the postseason and that. How important is it for you guys to be playing at home? Because your home record is I think you have somewhere around 21 wins.
Yeah, I think for sure getting to come back home and play in front of the community and our fans, I think that's really big for Lake Charles and for our program. Just to have them in our back pocket to push us, I think that's really important for us.
Now, where'd you come from? You came from Southern Miss.
Yes, sir.
This is your first year here. What made you choose McNeese, and what did you know about McNeese beforehand?
Honestly, I just knew they had a lot of success in the past. I know, like, when I talked to Coach James the first time on the phone, just the way he talked, the competitiveness of the program and the past success and just the standard here, I just knew this is where I wanted to end my career.
See, you went back and played Southern Miss, and y'all got a couple of wins over them. What was that like going back over there?
I mean, that was awesome. You know, like I really wanted that personally. You know, I think that was big for the team. But I think just to go there at their home field and take a win, you know, that felt really good.
Sure. So, Coach, is that kind of a part of y'all's game plan? Y'all, Ole Miss, Southern Miss, Texas Tech. I mean, y'all really stacked the schedule early on. Is that kind of y'all's game plan to play a tough schedule to prepare you for tournament time?
Absolutely. I think the more we can play competitive softball and higher opponents. But what's unique here at McNeese is we go into every opponent thinking the same thing. It's a focus on us. It doesn't matter their opponent. We're going to stick to our process. Awesome. But at the end of the day, I think, yes, that would be nice that it helps at the end. But we focus on ourselves.
Emily, for you, you came back to coach here. You played here. What does it mean to be back here, and what have you learned, and how exciting is it for you to be back here?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I didn't think that my home would be 21 hours away from my original home, but I went back to Virginia last year thinking I wanted to be closer to my family, and at the end of the day, 3 hours versus 21 is really not that big of a deal. But I love coaching under Coach James, just learning the knowledge he has, and just the personal growth that I've been able to accomplish this year is because of him.
One thing about softball is I've noticed this year, it seems, or the last couple of years, the games have taken longer. There's a lot. There is a lot of challenges in softball. Is that something new? And how do you do that to make sure it doesn't break up the rhythm of the game?
Yeah, I think there comes a time and a place when you do the challenge calls, but I also think it shows what the human eye can see as well. So I think it is a phenomenal thing that our sport has grown to. It hasn't always been there, but finding ways of certain innings and when we can use it is very important as well.
When you're as a coach, and you guys see, you played here, you know the standards are set, but you guys almost always go in as the number 1 seed. Now you're the 2nd seed. What's the difference, and what does the team feel like as kind of the underdog in this tournament?
I wouldn't say the underdog, Jim. I think at the end of the day, it's the standard of McNeese, and I think every team they have some form of adversity, and maybe our form of adversity was the beginning of the year and the beginning of conference play, but it's about what's important now. That's over with, and so we're going to focus on what's important going into the conference tournament.
If you look at this, again, talking about now being the 2 seed instead of the 1 seed, I think McNeese is always expected to be the 1 seed, right? I think now it shows how good this league has gotten over the last couple of years, especially this year. What can fans and what can maybe we expect from the tournament this weekend? I mean, we've got 3 pretty regional teams, Nichols, Northwestern, and SFA. I would expect some good crowds. What can we expect to see this weekend?
Absolutely. I think you're going to expect to see the standard McNeese softball. We love our community. We love playing in front of this crowd. The Lake Charles community always shows up, and we're excited that it came upon this situation, and you're going to see competitive softball going into this weekend.
Yeah. And Maddie, do you feel like you guys are playing your best softball at this time of the year, or?
Honestly, I think we are playing really good softball right now. I don't think that we're playing our best. I don't think we've fully hit that yet, but I do think that we're on the way to that. I think the hard work we've been putting in as a team and we're prepared for what's coming, but I don't think we've hit our peak just yet, but I think it's coming.
Good. What about this lineup? So I know Coach James said going into the season that this was going to be a very offensive team. Obviously, you had success at Colin and Southern Miss. How does it feel to hit in this lineup and to see the success that you guys have had?
I think this is probably the best lineup that I've ever been a part of. I just know 1 through 9 can get the job done at any point in time. You know, like our leadoff's going to get on more than likely, and then after that, I know that anybody behind me can get the job done. So it takes a little pressure off of me because I know that it's not just 1 or 3 people who have to get the job done. I think anybody at any point in time can get it done.
For everybody out there, the tournament starts 4 o'clock on Thursday. It is a double elimination, each semifinal. Then the 2 winners will advance to the higher seed, which could be McNeese very easily if somebody knocks off Southeastern. And then they play a 2 out of 3, just like last year when Southeastern came here and played a 2 out of 3. So 4 o'clock is the first game, 7 o'clock is the second game. McNeese opens up against SFA, who they beat 3 times in 3 really tough games. We're going to talk about the tournament exactly after this on Poke Nation.
Well, it's game day at the Legacy Center, and the McNeese Cowboys are warmed up and ready to play. Cowboys have a new player this year, number 22, Katie Ferdinandson. This girl loves basketball and McNeese so much she can't wait to get out on the floor. And we're off. Shoemate tips the Brewer, and there goes Katie.
Ferdinandson Financial Group supports the McNeese Cowboys. The Cowboys are going to do some really big things. Really big.
McNeese athletes bring big energy, big plays, and big spirit to every game. That's why Lakeside is proud to be such a huge fan. We're a hometown team too, in the business of backing big dreams across our community every day. And we always bank on big wins with McNeese Sports. Go big with Lakeside and McNeese.
Join Don's Wash Club and score big on clean rides all season. Unlock discounts on washes, interior cleanings, oil changes, and more. Whether you're tailgating or heading home after the game, keep your ride looking like a pro. Not ready to commit? No worries. Scan the QR code on screen to see what we're all about. Enjoy your ride with Don's on McNeese, Ryan, and Nelson.
Welcome to Pro Pools, your one-stop shop for everything pool care. Top quality chemicals to keep your water clean, clear, and balanced. Plus in-store savings and rebates to keep more money in your pocket. Upgrade your cleaning with industry-leading equipment and turn your backyard into the perfect escape. From simple setups to luxury designs, we've got you covered. Visit Pro Pools today on Romero Street in Lake Charles, or call now and dive into better pool care.
We're back on Poke Nation. Emily Phillips, Maddie Weeks of the McNeese State women's softball team. I guess there's no men's team, so it would be the women's team. But they open up conference tournament play after finishing second in the league, winning 11 of your last 12 games to get there and secure the second seed. You guys were not scoreboard watching, I was told. But there was interest in what was going on around the league, wasn't there?
I mean, we were aware that something had to happen for us to be able to host, but during a game, that's not our focus. After the game, the fans told us, and I'm being honest with you, but that wasn't our focus going into the game.
See, I thought that when Landrino was watching I thought he had the phone on when he was on third base, but I guess not, he said.
No, my grandma thought the same thing, too.
Maddie, for that, you guys knew what was in him, what was online, but you guys had the pressure of having to sweep. What's that pressure like? And have you guys been kind of, because of when you had to come back to get into second place, have you guys basically been playing playoff softball for the last month?
Yeah, I would say like pressure's not, I mean, it's a real thing, but pressure gives us power. So I would say like just going into this weekend, like we knew what was online, this and that, but I think we just trusted our preparation and trusted how we prepared for the weekend and knew that we just had to show up and get the job done. We couldn't really worry about the outside things.
As a player, a lot of players have said that one thing they like about McNeese is who you play during the season. That you took on the number one team in the country to start the season. You're playing LSU in a game tomorrow night, which is Tuesday night. This obviously airs on Wednesday, but on Tuesday night, the week of the tournament. That's not an easy schedule. Is that part of why you come here?
For sure. You always want to play the best, and I think being here, it gives you the opportunity to go out there and play the best and really see where you stand, and that's what it's really about. So.
Let's talk about Coach James for a second. I mean, obviously he puts together that tough schedule. How does he prepare you guys, I guess, mentally and physically in practice and stuff to get you ready to play this tough schedule?
He's probably one of the best to do it that I've seen for sure. We do a lot of stuff in the classroom. We do a lot of stuff on the field. You know, he's really tough on us for sure, but I think that's what makes us so good at everything. I think, like, in the classroom, we do a lot of mental work, and then on the field, he really just prepares us. You know, practice isn't supposed to be fun. You know, like the game is supposed to be easier than practice, and that really shows up here. And, you know, he really prepares us in any way he can.
How have you seen that, Emily, coming from playing for Coach James and now coach with him? What is... Maybe is there like a different light that you've now seen James in the way that he deals with players and maybe the behind the scenes that you didn't get to see a couple years ago?
Yes, I mean, when I first transferred in, I remember right off the gate, it was accountability. There was a circumstance that occurred, and I was like, this is the man I want to finish my career with. And now getting the opportunity to coach alongside with them, now I'm just learning. I'm soaking up as much knowledge as I can because I know at the end of the day, that's why I'm back. And so just the mental work, the classroom settings, the life skills, he's really good at preparing girls for the next chapter of life using the game of softball, and I'll always respect him for that.
What did you guys learn during kind of that period of lull at the midway through the year? You had a very tough start, got all the way up to, I think, 36, 35 in the country in RPI. Then you hit the lull. What did you learn during that adversity that kind of gets you ready for the tournament?
I think at the end of the day, we really use the acronym WIN, what's important now. And yes, 35 in the RPI is great, but that could also be a distraction. And how can we prepare every single day moving forward? Because the day that's important is today. And so going into this weekend is what's important today that will prepare us for each day.
What about for you guys as players? What was kind of the message to the players? Was it basically the same thing each day that we got to get better? Because he always talked about consistency, finding consistency. You could play very well on one day. In fact, you guys would play very well in one game of doubleheader and then not so good in the second. He wanted consistency. Was that the message?
Yes, for sure. You know, early on in conference, there was a lot of inconsistency, you know, and we faced a lot of adversity, but I think that's made us tougher and stronger for the postseason. And I think, like I told him earlier, that I think we're just now getting to our peak of our best softball. So I think all that happened for a reason. And if you just have it happens for us, not to you, then I think you'll be more positive looking at it.
The SFA team, you beat them 3 times, 3 really tough games. I'd imagine you expect that. There's a lot of good teams in this league, though. You beat UIW despite the one girl hitting a home run almost every at bat. How good is this league from when you played here?
I think you started to see the competitiveness in the league, but especially this year, I've seen a big difference from my senior year. I think just across the sport as well is you never know who's going to win. You can't go in thinking that a team's going to win because you just do not know. And so that's why it's so important for us as a team to focus on what can we control, and we can control our focus, our effort, and our attitude.
And Maddie, for you, the last couple of games of your career here, getting to play them at home, is that extra special?
For sure. You know, you always want to be at your homestand, and I think just being able to be at home is even more amazing.
Well, once again, Maddie Weeks, Emily Phillips, McNeese State softball plays 4 o'clock against SFA at Joe Miller Diamond. I forget, Joe Miller Field. They're all Joe Miller.
There's a bunch of Joe Millers.
But then the second game is at 7 o'clock. Winners will play at 7 o'clock Friday night. Losers play at 4 o'clock in an elimination game. So you get a chance to see this team one more time this weekend. We'll get Matt's final thoughts after this on Polk Nation.
Welcome to Pro Pools, your one-stop shop for everything pool care. Top quality chemicals to keep your water clean, clear, and balanced. Plus in-store savings and rebates to keep more money in your pocket. Upgrade your cleaning with industry-leading equipment and turn your backyard into the perfect escape. From simple setups to luxury designs, we've got you covered. Visit Pro Pools today on Romero Street in Lake Charles, or call now and dive into better pool care.
Well, it's game day at the Legacy Center, and the McNeese Cowboys are warmed up and ready to play. Cowboys have a new player this year, number 22, Katie Ferdinand. This girl loves basketball and McNeese so much she can't wait to get out on the floor. And we're off. Shoemate tips the brewer, and there goes Katie.
Ferdinandson Financial Group supports the McNeese Cowboys.
Oh, we're back. Hey, talking all softball, you got to remember baseball's still in a fight for the tournament.
They are.
They had an interesting, weird weekend where lost 2 games, one in the 11th, one in the 10th, with their best pitcher on the mound.
Yep.
RGV is a really good offensive team.
Very good. I mean, we've said it for a long time. They're a problem. They're going to be a problem in this league in multiple sports. They invest really well. They've got huge attendance. So to get them here at home was a big opportunity. But they're a good team, and we took one game. We really needed a second because there's about 6 teams right there within a game or 2 of each other.
You want to get as high up in the seeds as you can. But that was a good weekend of baseball. But it was an interesting thing to see I think the best closer probably in the league going against the best home run hitter. Sometimes you get 2 pitches, he gets him past him.
Yep.
Third one he got him. So
that's right.
That's kind of how it happens. All right, I want to ask you about the 5 for 5 now that we're in this 5 for 5 window.
Yep.
5 for 5 is the 5th year from the NCAA for 5 years with 1 transfer.
That's right.
It is going to be voted on Monday. It was voted on Monday. It's going to pass committee, I've been told. It's probably going to pass in May and then start being implemented in June. But you guys can't predict that yet.
No, we can't predict it.
Where does that leave you in limbo a little bit?
Absolutely. I mean, we have coaches texting us daily to see if we have updates. They've got obviously a list of guys and girls on each roster that would affect their recruiting for the summer. And there's going to be a grandfathering of some sort to be able to make it all
Well, you're going
work.
to have a roster extension because you're bringing kids in.
Yep. But, it's something that's been talked about for really a decade. I mean, coaches have been on board with it and a proponent for it, just to add some clarity to some of those waivers that are out there. But now more than ever in this day and age of transfer portal and all the different eligibility extensions that we've seen, to put some guardrails on this thing would be very beneficial and some structure for coaches to build some rosters. Because right now you're building rosters year to year. And look, if that's the game we continue to play, that's fine. But it would be helpful to put some guardrails on it.
What also is, and I think the biggest complaint from a lot of people is, you can't set a budget if you're going to have free agency every year.
Absolutely.
This way, a player like a Larry Johnson that's decided and already transferred once, he's locked into McNeese.
That's right.
You can start at least putting together a budget and a roster and say, okay, I got this guy for this many years.
Yep.
I'm almost extending him in that instead of we need this much money this year. I think that's the bigger deal.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at the market right now for, again, we talk about basketball because that's where the big money is. But if you look at football, I mean, the amount of money that's getting spent at the bigger schools in football, it's because they can just continue to every December they walk into the coach's office and say, I want more money or I'm walking. I mean, it's just this would, again, add a lot of guardrails to a lot of the issues that we're seeing right now in college athletics.
Well, let's look at LSU right now.
Yep.
They're going to have $500,000 for their backup quarterback.
Yep.
The Appalachian State starting quarterback is going to make $50,000.
Right.
So what do we saw this with Tyshawn Archie in a way. Yep. He had X number of dollars to come back here and probably start and play more minutes, but he got more money to go to Texas A&M and probably be a backup.
Yep.
That makes kids have choices, but now at least McNeese and them can have a budget to where moving forward they know what they're going to get each year.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, again, for a school like us that has a smaller budget comparative to those leagues, it definitely would give us some clarity and some peace of mind, and our fans, as well, to actually invest in a roster for a couple of years and see what you can get out of it. So I think it would be great. They voted on today. And we hopefully will have some guidance here by the end of the week.
Well, I'm sure it'll get out of committee, and I'm pretty sure it'll pass. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. But the interesting thing is how coaches have talked about this, and they're saving some scholarships.
That's right.
Because there's going to be some kids that are going to be looking for jobs.
Yep.
I think it's more football at this school right now. I know there's a couple of football players that want to come back, and are trying to decide on. Do they get their rent?
Right, yeah. Oh, there's
a lot of
things
going on.
Big decisions being made.
So big weekend at McNeese starts with softball on Thursday, 4 p.m. Don't forget that. We'll see you out there, Matt.
We'll see you.
We'll see you next week on Polk Nation.